Hi everybody, welcome to my channel for a new battle report. So the French community organized a team tournament on UB and we decided to attend with my friends from the group ETC Switzerland. We have Coco, a former ETC player from last year for Switzerland, and the three of us who are like substitute in the ETC group. All of us playing together. So it's four person teams. And we are facing a first team, and I'm facing Paul, who is playing Ogre Khans as well, so we have a mirror game. I'm playing more or less the same list as the previous battle report, meaning something more shooting oriented as before with my Wild Earth list. I have a Shaman of Shamanism with the Ligaton God of Battle, great protection when you play a bit more fragile list, which is the case with the Mercenary Veteran. I have two Mammoth Hunter to threat a little bit the backline, and I have high mobility. I think they are very good for the price. The first one has become a bit expensive since the last update with the Restless Belt and Troll Eater, but is still very effective. I really love this guy with the weapon strength 7 shooting weapon, hunting spear, really effective against large targets, so I really like it. And the second one with the 6 attack strength 6, I think you know this build. The Can BSB decided to not invest too much in defense, only an Iron Fist, and the rest the 4-shot strength 4 poison with Viper Curse, Magic Resistance 2, and the Standard of Discipline, which is mandatory if you play without Leadership 9 as an Ogre player. 8 Bruisers with the Swift Rite, 3x3 Tribesmen, 6 Mercenary Veteran with Plate Armor, Poison Attack, and Brace of Oak Pistols, Saber-tooth Tiger, 1 Keen Eater, a Thunder Cannon, and a Frost Mammoth. Basically, I really like the synergy between the Frost Mammoth and this list. I think he can help the Mercenary Veteran in some combat to gain the initiative. He adds some shots. I have the second possibility of having Chilling as a bounce spell of Shamanism. So I really love the Frost Mammoth. Not too expensive and really a good monster with the 2-shot of Oak Ghostbow. Fits well with the list, I guess. And yeah, basically I have a few mobile threats with both Mammoth Hunter and the Keen Eater to threat a little bit my opponent if he comes forward. And then I have a good combat unit with both the Mercenary Veteran and the Bruisers, plus the Frost Mammoth, who is also a threat in combat. He's not bad with 6 attack strength 4 and then 4 attack strength 6. I think he's not bad at all, so I really like the concept of the list, and I think it fits a bit better the playstyle I like, meaning something not too over-rushy, over-aggressive, which is the case with Wild Earth. I also like to play Wild Earth, but it's a bit different. You are always being very aggressive, you have less versatility with your list, less tactical possibility, so to say, because you are always trying to aggress to get into close combat. With this list, I guess it's a bit different. You can play a bit more on the objective and take some risk with the Hunter, but it's a bit different, the concept of it, and I think I will like it. My opponent was playing basically a big Death Star with the Great Khan and the Multiple Wound weapon, Kagadi's Legacy, Shaman of Shamanism, Khan with the Own Master and Magic Resistance 2 and the Rod of Battle, so more or less similar configuration regarding magic. A unit of 5 Tribesmen with Iron Fist Champion, 2x6 Mercenaries Veteran, 1 time with the shots and 2nd time with Swift Strike Devastating Charge, 2 Tigers, 2x4 Bombardiers. So the first thing which surprised me when I saw this list was the lack of musicians, because basically when you play shooting unit and you don't have musician, it can be very annoying when Keen Eaters come on the board in your back, because you cannot turn around and shoot. You can just turn around and then expect a charge. So I think that's really something missing in this list, to have some additional musician. And then, of course, no standard or musician in Tribesman unit, which can be a mage bunker in some of the matchups. So that would have been also something. I think instead of the 5 Tribesmen, I would just have put 2x3 Tribesmen who can act as chaff pieces. I really love these units. I think they are really great for what they cost. Or alternatively, 2x3 Bruisers. I know a lot of people who prefer Bruisers instead of Tribesmen. I prefer the Tribesmen because of the weapon skill offensive 4, the number of attack. I think when you are going to clean chaff and chaff, that's better, and they are cheaper. but they have a bit less leadership. So yeah, that's a trait. You need to make your decision. And of course with Bruiser you have some strength 6 attack who can do some damage against big target as well, which is also an advantage for them. Okay, let's move on. Settings. We have Dawn Assault map number 16, and we are playing all the ground, so that's why I guess my opponent was willing to play this scenario with this big Death Star. Regarding spell selection, I decided to go with double chilling to deny some of the damage he can do with his amount of shots, and then of course Break the Spirit is always good when you face a Death Star. Actually, Break the Spirit is always a great spell. And then some combat buff. My opponent decided to take the Swarm of Insect to annoy a little bit my cannon or my Frost Mammoth, the Savage Fury spell, and then the same selection as me. Okay, what can I say regarding this matchup? First of all, I am mobility, and I think the lack of musician, I can really take advantage from that, because I should try to go in his back, and then he would be in huge trouble to deal with me. Of course, my opponent could try to secure with the center with his Death Star. I think he will try to do so, but I guess it's up to me to propose multiple threats to deny him the center, because if I go one-on-one, I have League Tank, he hasn't, so that's, yeah, I mean, that make the things a bit better for me, but it's still a combat with an unlikely outcome, and I don't like to go into this combat with a one-on-one situation. So I guess I have to try to be in a situation where I can propose him multiple charge at the same time. Of course, my multiple wound hunter is a huge weapon in this game. I think I can threat really well both mercenaries unit and the bombardiers, so it will have a high impact on the game, I hope. The Frost Mammoth, of course, can help me to gain an advantage in the mercenaries duel, because I can move forward with my mercenaries, because I will have the advantage of the agility, meaning even if he charges me, I will be able to strike before and to kill him before he can hit at me. So I think that's a good advantage given by the Frost Mammoth in this game. And if needed, I will chaff the Death Star. I think that the thing with Death Star, if you are not ready to face them, then just chaff them until you can be in a favorable enough position to combo charge and win the combat. And of course, I would be happy if I can start this game. I guess that's really the key for me. If I can start this game and put pressure, create the distance to get some advantage in the center, I would be really happy with this situation. So I will try to start the game if I can, and if I can't, the scenario is a bit different, then I will have to be careful with the shots. I will have to play a bit differently. But I mean, if I play second, I can also throw some chaff pieces to the Death Star and contest the scenario, because I'm playing second. I can always throw some unit of tribes and count for the scenario, so that's also something that I can take profit from. So, but I would rather start the game and protect my own unit with the spell as well during Magic. Let's move on to deployment. My opponent picked the side, so I was able to drop everything to start. He decided to give me this 3/4 and took this 3/4 for the Dawn Assault. So I was able to drop everything. I put some tribesmen in between, the unit of Mercenaries Veteran with the BSB, my cannon, Frost Mammoth, the unit of Bruiser with the Shaman. I tried to create a little space in between in order to threat him with a possible flank charge, depending what he will do with the Death Star. That was the idea, and I put Kinito in the back. And of course with this guy, what I plan to do with the Vanguard, basically I just check with this position with 26, I can be partially behind the hill, so could be protected from some shots, but at the same time still threat his flank. So I really like this idea. And then my opponent dropped everything. I was a bit surprised with the deployment, because he allowed me to put my scout here. I think that was a mistake from his part. And basically he put both Bombardier on the flank, everything very compact around the BSB bubble and general bubble. And here you have the Swift Stride, Devastating Charge Mercenaries, and here on the right, that's the Shooty Mercenaries. And I was very surprised to see both pieces of chaff forward, ready to be shot in the first turn already. That was a big surprise for me as well. So I will try to take advantage from that. And here you have the Kagadai General, the BSB, and the Mage in the back. So pretty happy about the deployment on my part, but I think there are multiple things who went wrong for my opponent, and I will discuss a bit later at the end of the video about that, as I usually do. First turn, of course, I move forward with both Hunter to threat both his flanks, and I create the situation where I put multiple threats in the middle, and basically everything is outside 18 of his Death Star, but I just want to be ready to march forward and chaff him with first unit of tribesmen, and I moved the BSB in this unit to be ready to shoot. Basically, I saw that I had the opportunity to shoot from this position at this cat within 24, plus adding 2 shots from the first mammoth if needed to finish the cat. So I should be able to kill this cat, which would be a very good situation for me to clean the first chaff. And basically I moved a bit forward with the mercenaries as well to shoot, but and to move as well the cannon to have a line of sight in the Death Star to try some shots. I just moved to within short range to be able to shoot in the next turn on a 4+, and this turn it will be a 5+. Magic, I'm casting Chilling with the bounce spell, a big bounce spell on this unit to make -1 to wound on shooting with both these units. It's casted in and my opponent lets it on. And then I try a second Chilling Urn on this unit, my opponent dispels it, and then I'm able to cast +1 toughness on the mercenaries. So pretty happy about how I was able to protect my unit against shooting for next turn. And then with the shots, I'm able to do 4 wounds to bombardiers with the mercenaries, nothing from both Mammoth Hunter. And then with the BSB, I was only able to do 1 poison, but no hits, no other hits. And with these 2 shots on 5-up, I was not able to do the second wound, unfortunately for me. So both cats are still alive. Yeah, I tried, at least. Turn 1 for my opponent. Basically, he moved a bit back and tried to organize a countercharge with the shaman in his unit. He comes forward to chaff me with the cat, move a bit back with the bombardiers, and I guess don't move really much with the mercenaries this turn. Move his cat back to protect him against shooting for next turn, and I guess that's it. In the magic, he is able to cast +1 toughness in the shaman's unit. Okay, fine for me. I think he was afraid of the overrun, but yeah, fine. I mean, that would be the next turn of him, so I don't understand really why he did cast a +1 toughness. Maybe he was afraid that I would charge here in the corner of his unit and not charge the bombardier. Maybe that was his idea. So then he cast +1 toughness. I prefer to charge the bombardier and clean some shots, and maybe take the overrun, or just pivot in the coming turn, we'll see. Then he tried to cast Hereditary in the Bombardier, okay, in, and then he tries Break the Spirit against my Mammoth Hunter. I dispel this one. With shooting, he's able to do 2 wounds to the mercenaries with the Bombardier, and to do 4 wounds to the Bruisers with the mercenaries shots. And I guess that's it. Let's move on to my turn 2. I take the charge on the left, on the Bombardiers, with 6 of Swift Stride overrun into the Shaman's unit. He has clarification, so that's not an easy combat, but still a good way to pin him in place, to occupy him, focus his spell in this position, so why not? I mean, I'm not too expensive. If I'm able to clean a bombardier and maybe do some wound to the shaman, that would be something. Here I decide to move back, and I have a good position to shoot, either to finish the last wound of this cat within 12, or to shoot this cat who is on the partially on the hill. So I guess I have no line of sight. Yes, only partially on the hill, so no line of sight on this cat, but I should be able to finish this guy if I'm a bit lucky. It's a 3+, 2+. Here I move forward to chaff, and basically I put everybody outside of the overrun 12, but I'm preparing myself for a huge counter charge if needed. And I guess that's it. Yeah, just move my BSB back in the unit. Basically, I made sure I would be able to shoot at this cat with the 4 shots, plus again with the 2 shots of the Frost Mammoth if needed. And I just pivot a little bit my cannon, and I guess that's it. No Keen Eater this turn, still in ambush. Trying the bounce spell against the mercenaries, but that dispelled by my opponent. Then I'm able to cast Break the Spirit against the Death Star, so that's really good for me because then I can avoid him going for the charge, and I should be able maybe to get the first all the ground point. And with shooting, basically I'm not able to finish the cat, unfortunately, but with BSB does 1 wound and then the Frost Mammoth finished the second wound, so at least I was able to kill 1 piece of chaff. And here I'm able to do 4 wounds to him, he does 1 in return, but he's able to stick on a 4 rerollable. Not bad for me. I wasn't sure that was a good idea to overrun, so that's not bad to be a block in this combat. So I just reform and made sure he cannot countercharge me with the Shaman and his unit. Turn 2, basically moved the Shaman back in the unit, didn't take the charge because of Break the Spirit, and make him ready to countercharge me if needed with the Tribesman. He used the cat with 1 life point left to chaff again my Mammoth Hunter on the right, and to my surprise he took the charge. He told me afterward that he forgot I had freezing aura on the Frost Mammoth. I assume he knew because we are both playing Ogre, so I assume it was pretty clear that if I gave him this charge, I was ready to take it, so more than happy to take it. It was a 10 on the dice, and with 3 dice he was able to make it. So basically then my concern was I need the Frost Mammoth to live, because if he kills it, then he denies me my huge advantage, so I need to dispel a swarm of insects. But then I was very surprised to see that he marched forward with the mercenaries. I guess there was other way to chaff me and avoid the overrun than to march with the mercenaries, because then he won't be able to shoot at me. So I'm just facing 4 bombardiers at long range to try to kill with a swarm of insects, to try to kill a Frost Mammoth. That's quite unlikely. So not too bad. And another surprise is that he gives me quite a small charge range for both the Frost Mammoth and the Bruiser unit. So that was a bit surprising for me. Okay, I guess that's it. Let's move on to magic. It puts Savage Fury to the mercenaries, not realizing that I will be able to kill a lot of his model before he's able to strike. So I let that in. Then he tries to put -1 to wound on the mercenaries. I'm able to dispel it. And with the shooting, he's able to do 2 wounds to my mercenaries, fine. And combat, basically, I'm able to do a lot of wounds before he strikes, as only 1 model to strike, and with the impact hit and the attack of his model, he's able to do 5 wounds to me. I'm able to kill everybody but 1 model, and I failed to restrain. I wasn't sure it's a good idea to pursue, because I like the position to threat him, but I think at the end it was better to pursue him. So luckily for me I failed to restrain, so I have to pursue, and I catch him with an 11, he did a 10, so I'm able to catch him and to stop just behind this unit. I wasn't sure basically if I wasn't able to march that I would be able to chaff properly the Great Khan, and then he would maybe have a possibility to charge my mercenaries if they ended up here, which was the case. So basically I preferred to stay safe in the back, but yeah, I failed it, but I was able to catch him, so that's at least a good news. Here I'm able to kill him, to do the four remaining wounds, and to kill him and just to reform, so that's a good news. My turn 3, I take double charge on the right. That was an 8 swift stride, and here 6 swift stride. I'm able to connect with both with a good overrun pass into the bombardiers on a 6 swift stride, so quite happy. And again, the freezing aura will be quite useful for me, because I can strike before him with everybody other than the great weapon, of course. So I should be able to do a huge amount of damage. I charge the chaff, I charge the Iron Fist unit, my Keen Eater comes on the board to threat the back of his Death Star, so if needed I can pin him in place 1 turn with a charge on the back, and basically I move forward with the Tribesman to threat his flank, and I move a bit back with the mercenaries to threat again his flank, and I just made sure with the overrun pass he would not be able to connect any of my units. Basically, these guys can, after the combat, I'm outside of the overrun pass, but I can also reform to threat his flank. So I have a lot of options at my disposal after this combat, so we'll see what I choose. In the magic, I'm able to cast with 3 dice against 3 an hereditary spell on this unit to help them survive some of the wounds he might do. Then I'm able to cast Break the Spirit on the Death Star. I thought that was really great to get again Break the Spirit, because he will hesitate twice before charging my unit. With the shots of the mercenaries, I'm able to do 4 casualties to them, so that's a good news again. And here I'm able to do, he has only 1 wound remaining. I did a lot of wounds because I have all my impact hits. I have 2 ranks, so a lot of impact hits. That's some D3 plus, yeah, a lot of them. That's 4 for the bruises, D3 plus 1 for the shaman, D3 plus 1 for the Khan, and D3 strength 6 for the Frost Mammoth. And then we have Frost Mammoth, Khan, shaman striking before him. So that's quite a lot of attacks. So I was able to do a lot of wounds, and he did some back, but not too much. And I was able to catch him with the Frost Mammoth and to restrain and pivot reform with the BSB's unit. And here I'm able to connect with the bruises, so very optimal. Here I'm able to kill the cat and pivot. And here I was able to I guess I was in a challenge with the champion, and I was able to kill the champion, but he stick on the steadfast. His turn 3, basically he decided to charge, so he took some casualties from Break the Spirit, of course, but he was able to charge to clean my chaff. Was a bit surprised. And here we are already in combat. Magic is able to cast Rod of Battle. Basically, he will clean my chaff. I should be able to get a huge counter charge, so I was like, I should strike before you with most of my guys. So Rod of Battle doesn't matter that much. So in, then he tries Hereditary Spell with 2 dice, I dispel it with 3 dice. He tries +1 toughness with 2 dice, I dispel it with 3 dice. And then he's able to get Break the Spirit against my mercenaries, which is not too bad for this magic phase. Combat, I'm able to do 6 wounds with the Frost Mammoth. He flees, I restrain to countercharge in the flank, of course. And he was able to clean me. I was able to do 2 wounds before I die. Not bad, 2 wounds. And here I was able to do 2 wounds. No, we did both 1 wound, so it's a tie on this combat. My turn 4, obviously I go in with 6 units. That was a 4 on the dice with the Tribesman. It was 5 on the dice with the Hunter, and the rest was more or less automatic. Yeah, automatic, I guess. Here I'm still in combat, he is still fleeing, and yeah, that's it. I guess you know what will happen. Basically, in combat, I try to pull Break the Spirit, but that dispel, and then I helped a little bit the BSB's unit to make sure my BSB will not die to some of the attacks. I was able to put an Hereditary Spell. And then basically, he challenged with the champion, take it with the BSB, kill the champion, and I killed everybody except the Great Khan, basically. And then he can only strike with the Great Khan. Great Khan did like 4 wounds to my mercenaries. Okay, fine, I can take it. And basically I reform with some of them, and I pursue with like 3 units, I guess. I catch him. He has minimized because of Frost Mammoth. He rolled really high, but I roll really high with my Death Star and catch him. And reform with Frost, etc. And then on my last turn, I'm able to go and clean these guys. These guys shouldn't have been able to charge, basically, because they were in another formation, but that doesn't play a role. I mean, only with the multiple wound hunter I was able to kill him, and the Keen Eater was able to kill him, so no worries. And here Frost Mammoth charged to finish the 2 remaining bruises, was able to kill them, and that's the end of the game on turn 4, because he has no unit remaining. Of course, it's 20. Take the scenario, and it takes only Arthur Hunter and 3 tribesmen for me. Of course, starting the game was important for me. I was able to use it to my advantage and to prepare good counter charges if he was coming, charging my chaff or going into the middle of the board. My opponent made too much mistake. I think it starts with deployment, and then during the game going mercenaries into my freezing aura against some mercenaries. That was a mistake. Going forward with the mercenaries on the right and giving me easy charge range while not shooting because of marching. Giving me both cats, so easy to shoot at starting from first turn. That was too much mistakes to expect something from this game. I should have pursued, I guess, with mercenaries. I was a bit afraid of the situation, but I think that was at the end the best solution to pursue them. And of course, great game from the Frost Mammoth. He was able to give the aura to win the first fight on the left. Then he was able to charge the second unit of mercenary to overrun into the bombardiers, to charge into the flank of the Death Star, make him flee on minimize, and then charge the bombardier again. So great game from the Frosty. And I have here some deployment alternative I would suggest for my opponent, because basically you cannot allow on Dawn Assault and me starting the game to put a scout here and to go out of arc with the Vanguard and move turn 1. I guess that's something you cannot allow to my army with both Mammoth Hunter very mobile. So what I would have done instead at his place is basically put the guy with paired weapon who have a good charge range because of the Swiss Stride on the side to protect, I guess, angled a bit more to basically protect completely the flank of a position of the scout and then doing 14, or him going forward with the march. So basically cover completely this flank where he cannot put any of the unit. Then angle slightly the Death Star to protect here some of the position if needed. And then on the left, basically, first of all, protect all of the shooting unit, both bombardier unit within a field where he gains either soft target or soft cover or hard cover, and plus put the mercenary, shooting mercenary, within hard cover, within the ruin. That would have been much better for him to protect all his shooting unit, and then to protect the flank, probably with this unit, the Iron Fist guy, and just put the Shaman within the Death Star as well within this unit. It doesn't fear that much, so just put the Iron Fist guy here to protect the flank. Basically, if I come with a Keen Eater on the back, he can always turn them around to protect, or he can go around and threat my flank. So I think that would have been much better for him to deny me some clear advantage with both Hunter to go around and to be in his flank on the first turn, because then you know the game is not going well. When you have both Hunter in your flank, out of arc, you have no counter charge, it's going to be difficult. You have to use the chaff and so on. It's getting very difficult for you. So I guess that would have been something much more effective in this game, and then he can always come slowly forward with the line, just come forward slowly and gain the advantage to try to get the center. That would have been something, I guess, better for him. Okay, that's all for this turn. Basically, I will do a recap at the end of what happened in all the rounds, talk a little bit maybe about the pairing and the result. But that's it for this game, so I'm able to get a good 20 for the team, was happy. That was a good training again with this new list, and looking forward for the second round next week. Thanks a lot for watching this battle report, see you soon on my channel, bye!